Hello.
Hi,
You can kind
Greg.
of brute force it by basically setting up sorters to just kind of vacuum everything, but it's still. eh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
My sort of air quotes final solution is when I get to my sort of
Easy there, Hitler.
a when I get to my sort of end air quotes end game base, or I build my
Mhm.
first like massive starship, I do create a container that serves as like the primary container that all of the manufactured items gets
Mhm.
pushed to, and
Yeah.
that serves as the one like go-to point for stuff. I mean, obviously
Well,
like through the
what's
conveyor
been
system you can pull things out in other places, but
what's been driving me nuts about it right now is okay. The assembler stopped working. So and I had like a big queue of stuff back up because I've been building out the hangar,
yeah,
and I have the production quota mod installed, which I know this is game or show content stuff, but what the hell, right? So it'll auto rebuild, stuff I pull out uh, with my worker ship that I've built called the Worker Bee because it looks like it has a little stinger on it with the welder.
makes sense.
So I look in it, and for whatever reason, the assemblers had pulled ice and it filled up with ice in their slots for materials. So I had to go in and basically put sorters to filter out ice going into that section of the cargo. I'm not sure why the unloader sorter was pushing ice there, but it's just been a nightmare.
That's so weird. I genuinely did not know that you could put ice into. Maybe it's one of the mods, or maybe one of the
Maybe,
because like I don't
but I
think in the
looked. I
base game
looked
you can
through
put
everything.
ice in the assembler.
I looked through everything. And I didn't see ice pop up as a requirement for anything.
Yeah, and I don't think it is. Aside from, for your 802H2 uh generators.
So I spent a good like 15, 20 minutes bearing ice out of it because it was counted as an ore, so the sorters didn't want to pull it out. Uh, and I set up essentially a loop in my conveyors with two sorters, one going in, one going out, with filtering ice, and the other one, with no, blacklist on it. Just it won't let anything back through it, so ice doesn't accumulate there again.
Yeah.
Not the most elegant solution, but it worked, at least for now. But even then, the assemblers, pull materials down and then they just hold it. So every so often you have to go in and, move stuff out. And it's just kind of a little bit of a frustration, which, supposedly this one script helps with the programmable blocks that move stuff around, but it's more designed for like massive storage arrays and not what I have, which is basically two gigantic. I built the second one, by the way. Cargo containers that basically collects everything.
Yeah.
So I'm going to save my game or save a backup of it, run the script, and see what it does. All right,
Yeah.
and it supposedly does a few things. It supposedly pulls all the ore out of assembler so that it doesn't just accumulate there, and it could also build up essentially dedicated storage for like ore and ingots and stuff. Now, I'm not sure what's going to do with only technically two main cargo containers and then a bunch of or one small one, because that's what the cargo access is on the main floor. But we'll see, right?
Yeah.
If need be, I could always dig down in the stairwell some more and start working on another floor. Uh, take the welder off the worker bee and put a drill on it. Because little guy's small enough that should be able to get down there. It's basically just like a flying cargo container with batteries.
I built my small grid mining
Mm-hmm.
rover. I'm up to Mark 3 on my design now. which is pretty straightforward. It's not 100% what I wanted, but it's getting the job done, and I'm about to start a project for a large grid mining rover. But what I did was I took and put 2 drills on a set of double hinges and double pistons. And so they can push out up to, I think, 5 meters is the maximum distance with the double small pistons.
Yeah.
I think it's 2.5 meters per piston. But the 2 hinges allow them to rotate up and down and left to right. And I thought about trying to do that with a rotor, but I personally am not coordinated enough to do that without fucking it up. So having them on 2 separate hinges instead of hinges and a rotor makes it harder for me to accidentally flip the rover over. So that one's a user error, like a design limitation specifically because of your user error. But that lets me go 85 degrees. If I go 90 degrees, it digs a hole under its tires and it'll fall into the hole. So I've got the vertical ones gimbal limited to not 85 degrees so that I can just hit the parking brake, and then I can do this really large area in front of the rover.
The Badger, I think I need to spread out the drills on it ever so slightly more, because every so often there's like one voxel that will get under the wheels and jam it up, so it can't dig a perfect tunnel. And with left click, right click, digs plenty.
Yeah.
But it's just ever so slightly. Either that, or I just put bigger wheels on it and put the wheels under the rover a little bit more.
But my Mark III has got a couple of gyros on it that are turned off, but in case it does wind up stuck in a hole or a little kind of sideways or something like that, I could use the gyros to help get me out of a mess. It's been good so far. What I'm going to do for my large grid one is I'm going to put a single drill on the back, and I'm going to mimic your 3D print arm design. And it's going to be like sort of like a flatbed truck style. Yeah. And it's just going to back up or pull up alongside an area that I want to mine, and then it's just going to use the single drill arm. And it's going to be able to...
the 3D print arm is more articulated than it needs to be for that.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you could easily do it with the custom turret controller without any mods whatsoever.
But regardless, I wanted to be able to extend at least probably 20 meters so that I can dig down into the ground to some of the underground nearby iron deposits. I mean, you can get iron out of the stone, but I have all of my nearby within like 5 kilometer surface iron deposits. I have scoured the surface and have gotten all of them that were in range with my little flying miner. And so now I'm like, well, I want to dig out this hillside basically because I want to make a large landing pad for my spaceship. And I do want this to be like my home base that I return to. I don't want to just abandon it. But also, but that means that I need a proper landing pad, proper, storage and production of hydrogen for at least early until I can get the ion engines. Although I might still use hydrogen for backup anyways. The hydrogen thrusters produce a lot more thrust on planet, but that's what I'm doing in my base.
Yeah, probably my next major project is going to be flatten one of the hillsides near me for a large landing pad for a large good ship. Yeah,
and then I sent you that message on Discord earlier. Like I redid my little helper bots, as the engineer models. They seem to, I mean, I'm going to do some more long-term testing. I've only messed with them for a little while, but they seem to do better because I think the little bot, because it's small, I think that causes it some issues. But having them be, the same size as me, they seem to respect the pathways that I have created for myself a lot better. And they will walk, which does make them slower to get to a task, but they seem to be able to more consecutively complete tasks by walking back and forth between picking up resources and then doing the task. and they've only gotten stuck once so far. Whereas before, like every time I would leave and come back to my base, they would be stuck in the ground or like spinning in circles. I'd have to do the respawn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I just saw something that the headline: Elon Musk is throttling traffic to websites he doesn't like. Basically, Twitter is throttling traffic to websites he dislikes.
That makes sense. Like, I mean, it's bad, but that makes sense because
free speech
Elon.
absolutist, right?
Yeah, I mean, Elon Musk, just like Trump and Rudy Giuliani and most of the rest of them are just like rich man babies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, supposedly any site linked to the New York Times, Facebook, or other sites that Musk commonly attacks, such as the Washington Post, has a 5-second delay from when the user clicks on the link to when it actually starts to load. It doesn't sound like a lot, but yeah. All right. I bet you it's one of those. A lot of time went into determining just how long of a wait it is before somebody gives up.
Before most people give up. Yeah, I'm guilty of that too. Like, if I'm scrolling through stuff on my phone, like on a little break, like if something doesn't load right away, I might like try tapping it again. But if that restarts the process every time, then yeah, I would give up on a lot of stuff. I mean, if I'm just like sitting and I'm not like taking a little break or I'm in a hurry for something, like I'll sit there for longer than that. But there are plenty of times when 5 seconds would be just enough to make me like scroll away from it.
Mm-hmm. Especially if the timer's hidden, and does it like show a progress bar, loading on the bottom of the screen, Yeah. Like for Chrome, it shows the like going to, and if there's some sort of loading procedure going on, it's down there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Giant piece of shit, man, baby.
Oh, okay. Here's one other giant piece of shit, man, baby. It's from r/News of the Stupid. I was closing out tabs. Trump advisor Michael Flynn blames Jewish people for their own deportations to concentration camps, saying that there weren't any guards.
Oh no!
Wow.
Oh no!
More like oy vey.
Yeah.
Now the question is he literally that stupid, or is this malice to pander to people that are that stupid? Because
could be both.
We've seen prominent political figures, unfortunately, prominent political figures, be actively that stupid. So is he pandering, or is he drinking the Kool-Aid, essentially, right?
I mean, I could see both. I could honestly see him doing both. Like, both isn't like it could be either. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you could do both at the same time. Probably. You can be dumb and pander at the same time. So I guess it could be both at the same time. But I could see it going either way. All right. It is almost 10:30, sir. We need to get this show on the road.
Yeah, sorry.
All right. You got Audacity pulled up?
It's pulling up now. I got music going on my second computer. Okay, all set.
All right. Ready to record in 3, 2, 1. Record. And for the sync, 3,
2,
1. Sync. Yay.
Yeah, having my little mini mixer is so nice. I could just do music on the second computer and I could still hear it.
All right.
Not paid for by the audience. It was my own expenditure, trying to do something a little different with my audio solutions. Because, right?
Yeah. I just adjusted a whole bunch of stuff. My fan was pointed at my microphone, which makes a huge difference. Like it always makes a little background noise that gets picked up and I have to filter out. But if it's pointed in the direction of my microphone to blow on me, that wave file is not that wave file. That noise is very noticeable, and it can sound like really weirdly muted when I go in and fix it afterwards.
Yeah, I had to get my fan out. I don't have the ceiling fan on in here. Can you hear it?
I don't think so.
Okay. It's actually more quiet than the ceiling fan, the noise it produces. So I think the ceiling fan it's just enough wind across the bike. That my little battery powered fan is probably the better option for recording.
Yeah. All right. Are you ready, kids?
No, you should be canceled, Captain.
I can't hear you. I'm
uh,
calling the cops.
that show went on for, or has gone on for way too long.
Yep.
Of all the Nicktoons to get the Simpsons treatment, all right?
Go ahead and start replenishing some of that Franken content.
Yeah.
I reckon we've got enough Franken content left over for at least 2, possibly 3 more episodes.
Yeah, but I would like to record more than once a month.
That's true. I would too.
It's just been a hell of a time.
Yeah.
I mean, you spend a week in the shower crying. I just had a bad day and technical issues and right.
Work scheduling adjustments for both of us.
Yeah, which it's now kind of settled into. My schedule's kind of settled down to a somewhat expectable thing, but the thing is that I'm the third cook. I'm the filler.
Yeah.
So whenever one of the other two has to take a day off, I fill in their shift in the. My schedule basically shifts around their twos. But the thing is that I could actually work both shifts.
Yeah.
Tristan, nice guy, but they don't trust him to open. And Matt, aka Chicken Sensei, can only work so much.
Yeah. Katie's got into a pretty steady routine at her new job. Minor changes here or there, and the on-call is so far not as bad as we were kind of led to believe. I don't know if maybe they just oversell it because I don't know, maybe it bothers them more or they, really want to set the bar for new people. That way there's not any, oh, you didn't say it was, going to be whatever. But she also is still doing a little bit of somebody needs to take off. We need you to cover this, swap you around. But she seems to have leveled out. I mean, my schedule is the same as it always has been for work. I'm having to do, all right. It feels weird to say that I'm having to do more with my kid. Like I don't want to or don't, But I mean, I do. There's not really any option. So if stuff comes up, I have to be the one who takes care of it. But it's been fine. I'm feeling a little more tired than I have been. And I've dropped some other stuff from my life. But that's not exactly a bad thing. Having a little more time to myself in the evenings and going to bed a little earlier is probably better for my health in the long run. Let's be honest. I definitely don't sleep enough. But, I'll sleep when I'm dead. But yeah, last week was fucking awful. I put in the Franken episode that I posted, I had a deeply personal issue that just put me where I couldn't record. Yeah, and I didn't go into the specifics, but
yeah, I did tell Anita a bit about what happened, and she just went, "Oh."
It's such a weird feeling. I put this in the text message to you when I told you what was going on, but they really are extended family. I mean, not all of my clients get that way. I don't get that close to all of them. I have a good relationship with all of them, but 5 years of watching this woman rebuild her life and getting to be a part of it, and then suddenly oh, you got 6 months to live, maybe a little less if you're unlucky.
Yeah, all because healthcare is treated so poorly as well.
Yeah. If they had, if she had been able to go for some regular appointments, some regular scans, she'd been getting, her her breast exams like she's supposed to, and getting a yearly physical, having regular blood work done, they would have noticed signs sooner. And I mean, she probably would have still had to deal with some kind of cancer, but it's, cancer, the secret is catch it early. Actually, the secret is don't get it, but you can't control if you do or don't get cancer for the most part, so.
I mean, you can improve and worsen your odds, but.
Yeah, so. That was pretty rough. So, welcome to the sad portion of the Franken episode, dear listeners. Got any good stories from the last couple of weeks?
Uh, Pretty much the only thing is like people keep coming to the restaurant with coupon books that another chicken place has put, or well, I work KFC, so another branch of KFC is put out
Yeah.
that is only for that particular franchise, and they keep coming with these coupons that say only for this franchise. It's just like, ugh. It makes me glad I'm not customer facing.
Yeah.
The chicken pit is sometimes a little lonesome, a little hot, but I don't have to deal with people.
Yeah. You know, I've never worked in fast food, but I've worked several retail jobs, and that exact situation has happened to me before, where it's like, no, no, sir. See, if you look on the coupon, it says this is for the, you know, the Cleveland location only. We're not in Cleveland. This is Dayton. Well, but this is Lowe's, ain't it? This is a Lowe's. You're gonna tell me you're not gonna honor a Lowe's coupon? No, sir. Even if I wanted to, which I don't. But even if I wanted to, I'm not a manager. I can't do that. Well, I want to speak to your manager. Fine.
Right.
Jim. We got another one, Jim.
Or
And
another... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
different managers responded differently. So I always tried to get the manager that wouldn't honor it, which was Jim and Janice. I can't remember if her name was Vicky or Victoria, or if she went by Vicky, but it was whatever. She would go ahead and do it because she'd be like, I just want to get him out of here. It's like, no, teach these people a lesson. Stand up to them. Tell them to fuck themselves and learn how to read.
Well, it gets even better with a restaurant, all right? So we've had people come in with the coupon books. We had somebody come in with a screenshot of an old ad from like 6 years ago, and no, I'm not joking.
Wow.
It's
a bold move.
We've had somebody, we've had multiple people come in asking for things that are just not on the menu. As in, yeah, like come in wanting a hamburger or a Happy Meal, and no, I'm not joking.
Okay.
Last time I worked night shift, there was somebody that put in a big pickup order and got pissy when we went to take it out to them because they, quote unquote, didn't put clothes on when they went out. I'm not sure how naked they were, but nobody wanted to go find out.
Well, you know what they say, no shirt, no shoes, no service.
Trying to think of any other good ones. Okay, so I'm not, at least at my branch or my little franchise, whenever things start to slow down when running the evening shift, that's basically when they pull the plug on production, whatever chicken is in, and they start going into a limited menu as things run out. And the lobby closes at 9, the franchise as a whole closes at 10. Alright? There's been people that's just cussed the fuck out of the person running the drive-thru because they were like out of chicken fillets. So they couldn't do sandwiches, you know?
Yeah.
Or, they only had white meat and there was no dark meat to do a full bucket, you know? It's just, it makes me so glad I'm in the back scraping down the fryer.
Yeah. I would love. I should see if our KFC. I would assume they do. I'd see if our KFC does that because it would be like playing a little roulette. It's like you show up. It's like, hey, what you got left? What do we got tonight? What are we?
Well, okay, I mean, here's the thing: is that they're not gonna give everybody on evening shift like 2 or 3 hours extra to clean up. So typically they'll pull the plug whenever things slow down to give time to clean up before hitting end of shift, quote unquote. And end of shift also has putting away all the stuff that's in the steam table and in the cold table, or cleaning up, that sort of thing. So they have to shut down the fryers a couple hours early because those fuckers have to cool.
Oh, so I could show up at like 8 o'clock and we'd be in limited menu time.
Yeah, potentially, depending on how busy the location is.
I have no idea how busy they are. I mean, I see people there all the time, but
Hmm.
I tend to only be out during sort of more
Hmm.
normal lunch and dinner hours.
Yeah, at least my location, there's a big lunch rush at just a bit after noon. A school rush when all the kids at the local high school get out, and they're heading all the restaurants, and the teachers and staff get out. Then it's the evening rush or evening dinner rush, and depending on the day, it could get rather crazy, particularly in football season on Thursdays and Sundays. And then, of course, the church rush on Sundays. Oh, God, the church people are the worst.
I've heard that from many restaurants, and I have experienced it in working retail. People coming in after church and being kind of dicks.
Kind of dicks doesn't even begin to cover it. They're the ones that always show up with like the coupons and the screenshots of old ads. There was a couple coming in wanting things that just were discontinued like 2 or 3 years ago. So yeah, fun.
Yeah, I'm making a face, just like my yep, this is sarcasm face on the fun.
But
I don't have.
now you're going to just go do limited menu at the next KFC that you come across.
I'm definitely gonna do limited menu night. We're gonna play roulette, food KFC roulette one night.
I will say that if you go very close to closing, you're going to get very old and probably dry chicken, particularly on like the nuggets. Those nuggets turned into little rubber balls after a couple hours. Whole pieces of chicken are hold up a lot better. Tenders are 50-50 shot of being good or not.
Yeah,
And the hot wings don't last that long, but they're a limited menu item anyway.
not a huge fan of hot wings from fast food places, sit down restaurants, or if someone makes them at home. Like, sure, but I've had mixed results with fast food wings.
Well, I get the
K-
better ones because I go in, make a batch just before break, and get them hot out of the fryer essentially while they're still crispy.
Yeah, I'd imagine if any fast food place is going to do them well, it would be KFC.
They actually have a fair bite to them. They're very upfront heat instead of like a throaty back of the mouth heat.
Yeah,
It's very forward facing. If I were to make a suggestion on if you get them,
sure.
even though I'm not a huge fan of their honey, doing a sweet and spicy with them is a pretty good option because they do have honey packets, or I should say honey packets, because it's basically high fructose corn syrup posing as honey. But if you expected a fast food place to give away honey, all right?
Yeah, real high quality honey.
Uh-huh.
I will say, speaking of like sauces that have a bite, McDonald's new, what is it, spicy berry jam or something like that. I forget what it is. Sweet berry, whatever. I was surprised that it's got some real spice to it. I was expecting it to just be like sweet.
I still need to try that.
It's not. I mean, it's fast food dipping sauce, right? So it's not amazing, but it was surprisingly spicy. I was like, "Oh, this is interesting. I was not expecting this."
That's pretty much me with the KFC hot wings. They were surprisingly spicy, as in they actually had a heat to them.
Yeah.
And by the time you get to the end of the serving, which is 8, got a fair tingle going on.
Yeah. And to be clear, this isn't like spicy. It's like, I think this would be too spicy for your average white girl, but.
Yeah, I don't like black pepper. It's too spicy.
Mayonnaise is too spicy.
Only spicy I like is pumpkin spice.
Hey.
Oh, God. Oh, the pumpkin spice.
Every year, I get exactly one pumpkin spice latte from the local coffee shop. It's called Jennings. It's our, I get one, and then I'm good. I don't want any more.
I haven't tried the pumpkin spice stuff from my local, sarcasm quotes local because it's near where I work. So it's not that close to me. But maybe I'll get a coffee there or something, and do the pumpkin spice. They have pretty good bubble tea.
I do like bubble tea, but I don't get the tapioca though. Like when there's an option, I'm not a huge fan of tapioca. But I will get like the fruit, the little fruit Orby thingies.
Yeah, they got like 4 different options. There's tapioca. There's like a bursting one. Trying to think of the other 2 now. I know that there's 4, but I can't think of the other 2.
Dayton, Tennessee is this weird little anomaly because we're a college town, even though we're tiny, we have a shitload of coffee shops. Mm-hmm. And there's one chain place. They're called Drip. I mean, they're basically a Starbucks kind of ripoff. And their coffee is about as good. But we've got several small local coffee shops that are all excellent and do different things, differently. Like different things are their specialties. So, like I have a weirdly, like, if I want to spend money on coffee, while I'm out, as opposed to just making better coffee at home or something, I can get a lot of really good local options, which feels wild because this town has like 10,000 people in it. Like as far as towns go, it's very small, but there's a college here, and them college kids sure love their coffee.
Yeah, there's not a lot of coffee options here until you hit Charleston. So that's disappointing to me.
Yeah.
And Charleston has a bad habit of losing coffee shops very quickly. Just they'll quickly go under after a while. Or the one I actually went to that I really enjoyed closed up because the others just were leaving the area and they didn't want to sell. They just decided to close up shop instead. Which, sad, but, understandable.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Need to actually look into a couple coffee shops in town.
I try not to make a habit out of going. Mm-hmm. I feel weird about getting, like, a $5 or $6 cup of coffee.
Yeah. Yeah, the coffee shop near my work, the bubble tea is, like, 5 something for a large. But, it's also bubble tea, so, you can't exactly gulp it down. That's something that you're going to be sipping on for an hour or 2. Or at least for me,
Yeah. I've never stopped to think about how long it takes me to drink a bubble tea. I don't get them super often, so I think of them more as like a little treat. All right. I just realized, because we've been sitting here talking and I've got my paint stuff out.
Uh-oh.
I need to adjust the date and
to the current month.
To the current year.
Okay, so I do need to probably paste a couple of things actually into the show notes. Would be useful, huh?
Probably.
Let's see.
But yes, this week's painting selection is getting stuff ready for my in-house D&D game. Painting a bunch of minis. I've got a shitload of minis, but they're all sci-fi or modern stuff. Tanks, jets, all of my Battletech minis. I don't have any fantasy ones. So I've got like a dragon, I got some wolves, I got like a couple little hobbits, I got a dwarf guy here. Drinking booze, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't expect to paint them all tonight, but might as well get started. But I am itching to get Starfield uninstalled.
That's boding well.
I have had my fill. Like, I finally finished the giant bag of chips, and I'm ready for something else.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, the thing is that I got frustrated with the bag of chips, so I just basically
left
Yeah,
them on the counter. They're going stale.
I closed it up. I put a clip on it, and I threw the bag away. I mean, technically, I do have my save, but I realized that it's not really going to be worth much because if I do anything with Starfield, I'm going to mod the ever living fuck out of it.
Yep, I agree with that statement.
And I will say that Starfield does have some very good potential about modding. Yeah, the Tech Raptor article has a very amusing little anecdote at the end of it, by the way. I'm not sure if you know this little factoid, or actually not factoid because it's actually true, but yeah, you'll see. Okay, there we go. Those are the two main things.
Okay, let's copy both of those up, and then once I get them slotted in, I will be ready to go if you are.
Yeah, I'm going to get a little bit of music running. One thing that's nice about having the mixer is I can just do it on the laptop and not have to worry about fucking up on the main computer. Oh.
Okay, stuff's in the show notes. Dates updated.
Ooh.
Are you ready?
Now, let me find Audacity. Where did you go? Oh, there you are. Audacity's off at the corner. Like, what?
I was sleeping. What are you doing? All right, just tell me when you got it up.
Yeah. Don't you wish?
Ooh.
Okay, all set.
All right, ready to record in 3, 2, 1. Record, and for the sync, 3,
2,
1. Sync.
Do you think I need to move my microphone a little bit? Get a little bit closer. Is that better?
It was fine before, but sure.
Well, I can move it further away then.
Well, I don't want you to go further away. I want you to be close.
Bad touch. I told Tristan, I'm sorry, but I put a limit on just how much of a beard I would kiss. And it looks far too tickly.
I got a lot of beard going on right now. The last time I trimmed was in August. So I got a really bushy facial growth going on.
I'll have to do pretty trim because, food.
Right. Yeah, I've been telling myself, like, nah, I'm going to trim it. And then I just don't. And it has gotten past the part where it's annoying. And so now it's no longer annoying me. And I'm like, I could stay a while. We'll see how long until somebody else tells me I have to trim it. I mean, granted, I don't have any limits for work. Our sort of dress guidelines. We don't really have a dress code, but it's like, be sure that you look clean and professional and businessy or whatever. But I fucking wear jeans and polos to work all the time. Ain't nobody saying nothing about my beard being a little bushy. I mean, if it got way out of hand.
Now you start finding fries and you're like, when was the last time I had fries?
Yeah, now that's a problem. But, I wash it, I condition it, I have beard product. I take better care of my beard than I do my skin.
Yeah, meanwhile, I think my limit is half an inch. Although they're not, sitting there with a ruler. They'll let you grow it out a bit, but, you can't get too bushy. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Two of the cooks are really hairy guys, and the best cook that we have is this little short, bald guy.
I'm guessing I've got maybe 3 inches of beard length.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like pulling it and doing a little like measurement with my fingers. I think that's about 2.5, 3 inches.
I think I'm at the point where I'm at the guidelines. It's been a while since I've trimmed because I purposely trim a little bit shorter. That way, I don't have to constantly go back over it.
Yeah,
because I'm lazy.
When I do, I have no idea like what the length is, but when I do trim my beard, I just leave. I've got a pair of hair clippers, and I use a number 3 guard on them. That's what I hit my beard with. But I don't know how much, what length that is. It's pretty short. But anyways, game face.
Game Face.